Welcome into the Sports Objective as we're previewing the LECLAIR Classic. The Pirates hosting Indiana, Long Beach State, and Georgetown this weekend at Clark LeClaire Stadium. And on Saturday, it will be the matchup with the Dirtbags. Right now, very excited to be joined by their head coach, Eric Valenzuela. Coach, we appreciate your time this afternoon.
Hey, Bubba, thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Your club's off to a 4-3 start. You took 2 out of 3 from the Wichita State Shockers, who are obviously a league opponent of East Carolina. And then you also took 2 out of 3 from Seattle, dropped a midweek game to Loyola Marymount. But if you would, tell us about the start of the season for your ball club.
Yeah, it's we start the year with 34 new players, so this early part of the year is still trying to figure some things out and seeing what we got and giving some guys some opportunities, and that's kind of how it's been. We played some good competition, and this is our first road trip. We played on the road at Loyola, but that's just a get on a bus and then come back. But this is our first road trip. But the first 7 games, we've been through a lot. We've had a walk off. We've been walked off on. We've had some tight games, and then it's just been a lot of learning. Of what we got, and as we continue to move forward, towards conference, that's what we're learning as a team and as a coaching staff. And this weekend's tournament is not going to be any different. It's going to be great competition in front of a great crowd, and we're excited to get on a plane and get out there.
Needless to say, your first 2 years on the job, I guess you were hired in June of 2019. So obviously the 2020 season ended up getting canceled about a third of the way through. And then 2021, you guys had a very good season, but at the same time, a reduced number of games as opposed to the typical 56. Last year, a bit of an up and down season. I think you were, 31-27. And but you had one of the best pitching staffs in the country. So you talk about all of the new pieces on this club, but one of the things looking over your pitching numbers and also your rotation to date through the first 2 weekends, I noticed there at the head of your rotation you have some transfers from Arizona State and also Gonzaga that are performing very well.
Yeah, no, it's we're lucky in the guys that we've had when we first got the job here, and then obviously have been able to keep some and get some good transfers in for this year. This weekend is a little different just because we got our series with Seattle backed up because of rain. We're supposed to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we ended up going Sunday, 1 game, and a doubleheader Monday. So it kind of threw us off a little bit from our rotation. So we're going to go with a little different rotation this weekend, and that's okay. Again, it's just getting more guys some opportunities, and we're excited to get out there. But it's been I get the job in 20 is our first year, and we get hit with COVID, and we're off to a really good start. I think we finished 11th in the country, or we were at 11th in the country when the season ended. And then I think that was after 15 games. And then the season after, which was still a COVID related season for us, we had no non-conference games. We just had conference games only, and we finished really strong. We thought we had a good chance to get in as an at-large, but with missing 16 games, we weren't able to do that. And then last year, you're right, it was a little up and down. And we just brought in kind of a whole new group in, 34 years, and here we are. And yeah, pitching has always been a strength. I like where we are from a pitching side of things as well as we are offensively. So we're again, this is something, this tournament has been in the back of our minds, and looking forward to playing these great teams that are out here.
You would tell us about some of those top options from your pitching staff. I know the rotation, as you mentioned, because of that Seattle series running into Monday, and I think what you were supposed to have an exhibition game today that ended up getting canceled.
Yeah, so we had a game against Waseda University from Japan that was supposed to be on Tuesday, but the weather just tore up our field a little bit, and there was still some rain in the forecast, so we weren't able to play that game. And and we were expecting to play obviously Friday, Saturday, Sunday against Seattle, and that kind of hurt that. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We back up our rotation. We had our normal Friday, Saturday, Sunday guys ready to roll, and then this weekend against Seattle kind of backed up. Our Friday guy ended up going the game on Sunday, and then our Saturday and Sunday ended up going the doubleheader on Monday, and so. We're just going to kind of get those guys one day before. So, our normal Friday guy will throw against East Carolina on Saturday, and then we'll kind of team up our number 2 and 3 on that Sunday game. And so that way they're back on track for the following week, which is our last week before we get into conference play. And so we'll play South Florida at home, and we'll get those guys back on track the following week. And that way, hopefully they're on a normal routine moving forward. And again, you can't predict the weather, but hopefully that's the goal moving forward these next couple weeks.
Obviously, it's early on. I see nobody on your staff has more than 3 appearances thus far through 7 games, and pretty much everybody, with the exception of a couple, has 2. So talk through that process and just some of those top bullpen options, and who were proven commodities from a season ago, and who's arrived onto the scene and looking to take on a big role this time.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally up there. We do have some older guys, and we have some guys like Dalton Ponce, who's actually going to start on Friday. He's been a Leaf guy for a while to start the year, so we're going to put him in the rotation just this week and see how he does. We got guys like Ethan Clough. We have John Carlos, Josh Haley. We have guys that have been here with us and have a lot of experience. Obviously, our guys, Graham Osmond is our Friday guy, our weekend guy. He's a transfer. He was a reliever at ASU, so again, a little improvement on the start. Nico Zeglin came from Gonzaga. He was injured up until the season last year, and then put him in the bullpen. And Gonzaga had a really good starting rotation last year, so he pitched out of the bullpen and earned a starting spot for us to start the year this year. So again, that's another. A lot of unproven, but they've earned it to this point to give them that opportunity. And then we started a true freshman, Miles Patton, who was our 3 guy, left-hander local from Long Beach here, and he's been great up to this point. But again, just the question marks are all over, just in the sense of, I really like, the personnel. It's just a matter of me managing it correctly and making good decisions and giving these guys opportunities. I mean, that's one of the things that I talked to them about, is that, I got to be able to trust guys, and put guys in those spots and see what they can do. I mean, when you have so many unknowns, but you have some talent, you just got to put them in there. I mean, there's guys that, we've all seen it, where guys look great in inter squads, and in practice you put them in a game and they're not the same. And then you see the opposite as well, where they're not great in inter squad games, or all fall they've struggled, and then you put them in a game and they're great. So, what we need to do is just continue to give these guys some opportunities early in the season, and that way when we get into conference, we have a great, a good understanding of what our guys are doing, and I can manage them for success.
If you would tell us about your ball club on the lineup. I see that Eddie Saldivar and Rocco Pepe, they're tied for the team lead through 7 games with 11 hits. You
look around our 9 pretty much. We got we have a junior catcher, Connor Burns, who's pretty special from a defensive side of things. He struggled a little bit offensively here, but hopefully that comes around. But he's in my opinion, the best defensive catcher in the country, in all aspects of things defensively. First base, Johnny Long, who's been, arguably one of our 2 best hitters, the last 2 years, and he plays a great first base. Our second baseman is a transfer from Arizona State, Alex Champagne, left-handed hitter, not very big, but plays big, and plays hard, and he's just kind of that dirtbag type of player. Our shortstop is another transfer from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, who's in our conference, Nick Marincones, who's done a great job and has gotten some really big hits for us early. Eddie Saldivar, who has been with us a couple of years now, and has some experience, and so he bets. He's kind of moved around a little bit in the lineup these first 7 in the outfield. You got Rocco Pepe, who's been here for 3 years, and he's kind of our energy in the lineup. Hits third. Center field, we played a couple different options: Josiah Morrissey, Tyler White, and Kyle Ashworth. We played 3 different center fielders, and they're all good in their own ways. And so it's again, managing, what's the best matchup and who we're facing and that kind of thing. And then right field is a transfer from UNLV who I believe was in the top 2 or 3 in doubles last year at UNLV, named Joey Walls. Plays a good right field and has a couple home runs already. His numbers, they're not off to a great start, but he's in the end, he'll be one of our best, top 2 or 3 hitters in our lineup. So, and then we have some options off the bench that have come off the bench and done some really good things. And so, again, it's the same thing. So many new players. It's just it's our job to give these guys opportunities and see what we got and continue to do that on a week-to-week basis.
What have you seen of your team defensively thus far?
Yeah, I like our team defensively. I think we have some older guys, older infielders and mixed in with, obviously I think it starts behind the plate. When you have a catcher like Connor Burns, that really helps your defense immediately. And then obviously moving up the middle with Marin Cones and Champagne do a really good job, of making the routine play, and they communicate and they're leaders out there, which is great. And anybody we put in center field with those 3 options that I mentioned before, they've been great, and so, I think that's the staple of our program, and it has been for a long, long time. Is we're good on the mound, good behind the plate, can really play defense, make routine plays, and we know where we have to be at all times. And then from a defensive side of things, I think we want to be able to be a team that can do everything, right? That can hit for power when needed, that can really execute offensively, bun down, move runners over, and do all the things that are going to help us win a lot of ball games. And so, that's kind of where we are.
A couple more things for you, Coach. Obviously, these 2 programs, 2,700 or so miles apart, very rich in baseball tradition. So talk about how this opportunity came about to be a participant in a very well-known tournament that's been around a couple decades now, the Keith LeClair Classic.
Yeah, I think when I first got the job, we had communicated with them, or they reached out to us, I believe, about playing in 21. And then obviously when we lost our non-conference series, I think we were supposed to play in it that year in 21. And when we didn't have a non-conference season, we had to cancel it. But I told them we wanted to really do this, and so please put us back on it, whenever you have it available. So they were nice enough to be able to get us on for this coming year. And so we're excited. I mean, we've heard so many great things about it, and we know the excitement, and we obviously have a lot of respect for all the programs that are there, and of course what East Carolina has done. And obviously the fan base and that's all exciting. And that's only going to make us better as a team. I mean, we go there, we play in a hostile environment. I mean, that's going to prepare us for obviously our conference and more importantly, the postseason.
Yeah, a very strong field, as always, at the Keith LeClair Classic, Indiana. Although a bit of a down season a year ago, they've done excellent things under Coach Mercer and prior to Coach Mercer, and then Georgetown. They turned some heads last weekend, winning 11-0 over UNC Wilmington, and UNC Wilmington. So always a strong program in the Colonial Athletic Association. So, going to be a heck of a weekend for baseball at Clark LeClair Stadium. But, Coach, safe travels. Appreciate your time this afternoon, and best of luck this season.
Hey, Bubba, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Pirate Nation, that is Long Beach State head coach Eric Valenzuela.